make the strings louder.
So I just got my my exhaust kit from Summit today. Comes with four 48 foot or 48 inch straights, four 90s, four 45 degrees, and then four 180 degrees. So I could basically do all kinds of shit with it. And the kit wasn't terribly expensive. It was, I think, like right under $300, something like 280 or something. But I mean, I could build a shitload of exhaust with this. But yeah, it's definitely nice to have all this stuff laying around as well. But there's a stainless steel kit that they had. It was like for dual exhaust, and it didn't come with all these straight pieces, which I kind of wanted the straight pieces just to actually be able to get some distance and get it out. And it's nice that they have all these, kind of the flares on the end, because then I don't have to butt them up all pretty. I could just kind of jab them in there, tweak them to the side, and then put a little weld on them. But and I got a flange and I think a muffler I'm gonna throw on there, just to kind of quiet it down. With the way this car looks, it's definitely kind of more so on the sleeper side. But I thought it'd be cool to maybe do like a little cutout in the back too, like right before the muffler, so it so it's not so loud. But then when I want it to be, it can be. So then I also got my wideband today. I can't even tell you how many of these damn widebands I've ordered off of eBay. I don't know. Every single time I sell an engine or get rid of a car or something like that, it always goes with the damn wideband. So I think in my cart I've had like 7 of them in there within the past like year or some shit like that, from all the damn swaps and shit I've did. But man, lots of widebands. Yeah, so here's that awesome exhaust kit. I went ahead and I wiped it all down. It has like this kind of like greasy stuff on it. I'm assuming that's just like lubrication from sliding it all the machines and stuff like that at the factory. Got all that wiped off. So, but yeah, so this is a chunk of a S13 catback that I've had laying around. I put the other end of it on the V8 car that I swapped, or when I sold my LS, because it was S13 hatch. I cut that and put the V-band on it. So we'll see how it goes. It goes over there, but I need to go on the right side of it. So I'm going to cut this and flip that and kind of angle, basically just angle it going, instead of going over there, then angle it going over here. I have this little V-band chunk that I had laying around, because this thing already previously had a little V-band in it. So I still got to cut that crap out of the inside, and kind of shim it. But then I was basically just gonna kind of pie cut the end of that a little bit, cut a little sliver of it off, maybe cut this at a little bit more of a drastic angle, so it'll be easier to kind of mate up to something else. And yeah, and then I have the other piece of this that I cut off of the other muffler, so that's laying around here somewhere. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on right here, and then kind of go over, and then I have a muffler. Oh, right here. This is the old muffler off my V8 when it was in there a long time ago, so I gotta weld up something to that. But yeah, it's nice, all these pieces of exhaust, they have these little slip joints in them, so you could just stick it in there, kind of twist it, bend it a little bit, and then just weld around it. You don't have to worry about big gaps or anything, and it should go pretty smooth. So So yeah, this is what I have so far. Got this ghetto little contraption, kind of holding up the exhaust. Got this kind of weird little bend thing going right there, but it ended up working. You know, I kind of made it work. But these nice little, you know how these joints and stuff fit together, that's kind of nice, because then you can kind of twist them, you know, twist them back and forth to kind of get the thing. And then I got kind of this janky little, well, it's not terrible, but that little angle right there. But 3-inch, I mean, it should be more than enough and flow way more than it even needs to, because I think 3-inch exhaust supports like 600 and some horsepower or some shit, so this won't even be close to that. But so yeah, this guy's kind of coming out this way a little bit, and then I got this you know, this muffler right here. It's gonna go on it, and hopefully it'll quiet it down and kind of keep this thing kind of sleeper-ish. But let's see that continue. So yeah, that's how the exhaust looks. This is just kind of a beat up old tip. You know, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that. I might cut it back a little bit to where it's, you know, it's just been dropped and kicked and been all over the place. So I might cut that at like an angle or something like that. Kind of weird, but do something like that. Or it'd be cool to do like a turn down. That'd be pretty cool if I could like pie cut it, but with a MIG it would look like shit. But yeah, so there's the bends and stuff in it. It's kind of got a lot of random bends in it, you know, more than I'd like. You know, I mean, I wish this would went a little bit simpler, but you know, I mean, it doesn't hang too low. I mean, maybe about 1.5 inches or so beneath the frame down there, and then back here it's actually tucked up pretty nice. So I made a little hanger right there. There's that little guy. Made myself. I need to do one for this side, and then there's I need to connect something up to that. I might get like a little flat piece of metal or something, go up there and drill a hole in it, and then kind of run it down there, and then run a bolt through that, so it's actually kind of hung up there nice. That's how the factory one is, at least. Get a gasket for this, you know, but with the resonator and that muffler is really quiet on my LS. So, you know, that's kind of the whole plan with this thing, is keep it quiet, not too crazy and obnoxious, just because, you know, I'm going to be driving it on the street, and I don't want to attract too much attention to it. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and yank this thing down and give it some weld. So yeah, this is kind of the finished product. I really don't like the way this whole, you know, fart can looking thing actually looks. I mean, it just kind of looks like the damn ricer, and it's not really going with the whole sleeper thing. But I think it'd be kind of cool to get like a stock muffler, you know, and then have the tip coming out, and then kind of have like the 3-inch going into it, and then like 90 and out of the bottom, kind of dumping straight down, so that when you're looking at it, you can't really see it. But yeah, got everything bolted. I made this little guy right there, going up to that, just kind of welded that guy right there, you know, as well as the other one on the other side. Here's the factory 241, and technically I think this is in the right spot, so if I wanted to just get like the axle back or whatever off of something, I could just, you know, an axle back S13 one, put that on there. But yeah, I got some paint on this stuff, but isn't the prettiest thing in the world, but it'll definitely get it done. It's a hell of a lot better than, you know, paying somebody, you know, a shitload to bend something up that probably wouldn't even, you know, be as pretty as this. So, but yeah, I wish I had a TIG welder to where I could actually weld some stuff. And this stuff right here, or, you know, the whole exhaust kit, it's aluminized tubing, so it's basically mild steel that has aluminum in it, and so it doesn't really rust, you know, but stainless steel. There's another kit that was similar to this. It was about $100 more, but it didn't come with all these straights. It just came with a lot of, you know, random like U's and X's and just random dumb shit that I probably wouldn't use, and I figured I'd use the straights and the roll 40s and the 90s and all that stuff, but I barely used anything on this, at least, other than these two 45s right there. But I really like how that kind of makes a transition over there. But sounds like almost like a damn NAKA just idling, you know, with a full exhaust. Finally got this blow off valve to work. Listen how quiet this thing is. You know, just run it. I mean, they just run so damn smooth. There's a little bit of an exhaust leak down there somewhere. I'm not exactly sure. Listen to this damn crazy ass blow off valve. That's a little crazy, but sorry about the camera work, but yeah, so it's coming along, you know, a few minor things here and there, but the battery actually doesn't even die, but I'll go and disconnect it. But yeah, I need to get the connectors for these kooky lights that I got for this thing, and I don't know if I'm actually gonna put them in. I was kind of thinking about kind of driving this thing, you know, kind of through the winter, kind of dicking off, you know, playing around with it, having some fun, you know, kind of in its appearance, maybe throw some coilovers and stuff, and then, you know, kind of right before summer, right during summer, spring, somewhere in there, clean it up real nice, you know, throw these tail lights on it, put a nice set of wheels and stuff on it, lower it down, make it like a really nice car, you know, but, you know how ideas are. Nice. Alright, so I just got the diff out of this thing and got everything cleaned up. Basically, this right here, this is a Tomei two-way diff. I don't know if you can see right there, it says Tomei on it. But this is a diff I had for my S13 for a while back. Had it in at a drift event and I felt like a vibration and I was kind of blaming it on the diff. So I yanked it out and put a welder back in it for the event. This is the diff out of this S13. I'm basically just swapping covers. The S14 cover has these like 2 bolts on the front like that, and then the S13 cover has these 4 bolts like that on the back. So didn't clean up the back, but I cleaned up the inside a bit. You know, I flipped the diffs up so I don't have to change the fluid, and I put a nice little coat of RTV on there. I'm just kind of letting tack up a little bit before I set the cover on it. But yeah, so basically just gonna set the cover on this guy to where it's just a little mushy. Thread the bolts in, but don't like actually let it like set up, or don't tighten it down and let it squish all the stuff out. And so you usually let it sit, you know, 10-20 minutes or something like that, and then you go in and tighten it and then let it sit for a little bit longer. So I'm not sure exactly if I'll be able to, how long it's going to be until I'll be able to drive this guy. I was up messing with the wiring for the fans and the wiring for the wideband and the coolant temp gauge and all that stuff. So I'm going to kind of get back on that, and because we're going to go for a little rip since there's some snow outside. Go play around a little bit with it. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna let that basically kind of tack up a little bit, throw a little bit of RTV on this other one, or maybe I'll just let that guy drain and then throw the 14 cover on it, because if I ever put it back in anything, it's gonna be, I'm gonna weld it anyhow, so I'll probably just let all the fluid drain out of it anyhow, and then maybe I'll even weld it. But so basically the difference between a limited slip and a two-way and a welded, a limited slip, if you've seen that, it had like all these clutches in there, so it's certain, you know, acceleration, deceleration, the clutches go into effect. But if you're kind of like coasting or whatever, it isn't locked. A welded is locked all the time. So like on here, if I twist, you know, the drive shaft or whatever, you see I could hold this guy right here still on this end, and basically it sends all the power to like the outer wheel, and that's why you can't do like a donut or anything with a limited slip. And you know, in a straight line, you know, most of the time they kind of, you know, they both spin at the same rate. So when you go to weld a diff, have you seen how these gears in there are actually moving kind of opposite of each other? See, like that, and they just kind of move. So what you do is you just weld those teeth
in there together, kind of all together. Normally you could throw a plate in there as well and weld all that. The one that's actually been in my S14 has been a welded diff for, I don't know, probably 3 years, and I've never had any issues with it. I welded it like three years ago, but you know, I'm used to driving with a welded, just locked all the time, you know, so both wheels spin. And the issue with that is, you know, if you're like going into a parking lot, like, and you're going like this way, this wheel will always, you know, kind of like, you know, like do like a peel out a little bit. So that's a pain in the ass, and I figured this kind of being more so a street car, and you know, it'd be nice to be able to kick it sideways every now and then, but it would also be nice to not have it peeling out every time you pull into a parking lot.
Alright, so we just got the limited slip up in there. We let the exhaust, or the silicone, or the RTV chill for probably about an hour and a half before I actually kind of tighten the cover down on it. So let it kind of dry before it got oil on it. This is a diff out of S14, so it actually has bushings, whereas the S13's ones are solid. But S13 diffs and S14 diffs, they'll work in each other. You just have to change the housing on it. You know, as long as you got the same bolt pattern axles. But had to drop the subframe down, or the sway bar down, to get it up in there. But yeah, so how you can tell you have a limited slip versus an open is, if you know, I'm going backwards right here, that one's going backwards over there. If they go opposite each other, or one only spins, then you know for sure you either have a really shitty LSD that the clutches went out on it, which, you know, most of these didn't come with them. But there's like, some of them came with, I guess, VLSDs, which are real shitty. The clutches are real weak in them, especially after, you know, 20 plus years of people beating on them. They don't usually work that well anymore. But yeah, it's not too hard to get the diff out. There's, you know, 4 bolts right there, 2 bolts right there. You got to disconnect the drive shaft, pull down the exhaust to get to the axle nuts, kind of pop them out and off to the side, and usually pops right out. So, but yeah, here's the, like I said, the cover's the only thing, and then the 13 diffs are solid mounted, whereas the 14s have bushings and stuff in there. So, all right, so we're gonna do how to install your drift button. You got to wiggle this guy off. It smacks you right in the face. That'd be a good picture, huh? Here, we gotta Instagram this. That'd be good, huh? That's awesome. Alright, can you grab me some pliers?
Yeah. Like, you want, like...
Yeah, those ones.
Okay, channel locks.
We'll just fuck this up. There we go. You can hear that adhesive in there break loose. Oh yeah. Finally. So then, if you guys look down here, there's these shitty little, like, tabs. So just pull out your favorite pocket knife, you know, or whatever. You just bend them, then you slide that spring up and off of it, you know, so, and that basically keeps it from ratcheting back. Same thing on this side. You kick the little spring off of the guy. Okay, so then now, if you do that, the spring actually doesn't do anything, but you need to have something to be able to do that. So this slides on there real nice, but you want to have your nice pretty little guy right here on it so it doesn't look like shit. And so you just get him. Maybe it'd be a good idea to, like, kind of hone out the inside of that, but essentially that's what you want. But you want it to go down on the inside. Will you hand me a rubber hammer real quick?
There's a big son bitch.
Right there. Yeah, that guy. That's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. You gotta give it a good.
And then it'll be a little tight at first. It'll be tight forever because you hammered it on too far. Damn it. Fuck up the anodizing, bud. Didn't need to be pretty anyhow. Damn it.
Drift button problems, dude.
I guess, shit. Holy shit. Well, I fucked up now. Oh no. I snapped it right off. Well, I don't have an e-brake now. Well, actually I do.
It just auto drift buttons, dude.
Yeah, it just built-in drift button. I don't have the option anymore.
No park brake, dude, just auto drift.
Hey, look at that in there. You can see in there. Yeah, I fucked that up big time. Well, that's how you fuck up your fucking drift button install video for YouTube. So don't fucking bang it on with a hammer. Is the gist of this video. Yeah, look at that. Holy shit, bud. So that just controls the ratcheting mechanism. Is what that does. And maybe I might be able to get that back on. You gonna be able to get it back on?
Doubt it.
I can figure out how it works. Well, I guess I could still kind of have an e-brake. I'll just do that. Fuck it. Time to go drift. Oh, I got all my gauges and shit hooked up all pretty. Watch, look at this. Look at that. We got boost, wideband, and the coolant temp. But yeah, I think it's time to go drift now. I gotta throw a seat in here for you, and we're good. So yeah, we decided to take this thing for a street rip, but haven't been able to get like any traction. We're finally on like a little bit of a dirt road, and it just gets loose, especially with no sway bar in the front, no no sway bar, fucking blown coilovers and shit. So I mean, you hit a bump and it's kind of like woo woo. So I mean, normally running no sway bar isn't too big of a deal if you have some stiff coilovers or some good coilovers, but I mean, as soon as you get into it though, it just kind of goes like drifts like sideways and shit. Sounds nice at least. The exhaust is nice and quiet. I still have a little bit of an exhaust leak somewhere, but yeah, I thought this thing would have more grip with the snow tires than it does, but I mean, it just wants to get, it just wants to get boogie down. There's no pussyfooting around with this thing. It wants to go. And then, I mean, as soon as you really get on it too, then it just wants to kind of snap back at you. You know? It's actually fucking powder, it's grip now. I don't want to get onto these houses. That turbo sounds nice though. Yeah, I mean, driving this thing in the powder would be completely fine. It's like it just wants to like do sketchy shit with its friends. So I'd like to just fucking like mob hard. Where's this putting us out at? I have no idea. Alright, so what do you guys normally do on a Saturday night? Are you guys the type to go out partying and drinking, or do you guys work on your cars? I guess I'm kind of the guy. I'd rather work on my damn car. You know, as I don't really like celebrating shit, you know, or I'd like celebrating stuff, and that's when I go, you know, hang out and do stuff like that. But I don't like just drinking and doing a bunch of crazy shit for no reason. You know, I like to celebrate, you know, and actually have reasons to celebrate and go out and have fun instead of doing shit. So I just got through with a rip on this thing. I was out driving it, and hold on. So I was out driving this guy, and I probably won't do it now. I use this guy, but went to O'Reilly's, and I was showing the guys there. I was getting an oil filter, and I was gonna change the oil on it, and you know, did a little rip in the parking lot, kind of showing off for him. And this guy right here, it popped off just like that, you know. And I came out here, and it was just laying right there. I was like, what the hell? I was looking at all the intercooler pipe. I brought me a little kit with me, you know, just in case it. You know, some of the intercooler piping did pop off. Kind of its little test drive kit, test drive toolkit, as I'd like to say, because I didn't want to be, you know, caught somewhere and not be able to get out of a situation, or, you know, be able to fix the situation and continue on. So, but yeah, so this guy popped off. And I guess these things are just like pressed in there from the factory. Use some pliers for that guy. But so yeah, I had to do that, or I had to kind of stuff it back in there and baby it on the way back in. So right now, what I'm gonna do is kind of look at what's going on here. Get me some coarse grit sandpaper. Kind of scuff up both of these ends, and I'm gonna JB weld this shit. If I can find me a bit of sandpaper laying around, that is. There's some white navy. I guess that'll work. I'd like to hit it with like 36 or something like that, something real coarse, but this is better than nothing, I guess. But yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of rough up the edges right here, just so it actually has kind of something to stick to. I'm gonna use that JB Quick to go ahead and fix this all up. Kind of get that front face right there where the JB weld will actually sit. And inside a little bit, I'll squeeze some on the inside of there too. That stuff seals up pretty quick too, about 5 minutes. So, but by the time I get the oil change done, we should be able to go for a rip. I used all my damn cans of brake clean yesterday on the thing. I always gotta buy this shit in a damn case. Go through so damn much of it. Yeah, so I'm gonna mix me up some JB Weld after I just spray myself. Smash that. Clean that out. Get that nice and clean. Clean this guy off. Grab me a little JB Weld sticks. They're ice cold. Should have probably heated them up. I guess it'll be alright. Flows a little better when it's warm. Hardener. You just mix 2 parts up. Sorry I'm doing the damn head cam on basic shit like this, but I didn't do the head cam yesterday when I was installing gauges, wideband, you know, doing the limited slip and all that stuff. Probably the stuff you guys actually wanted to see, other than me mixing up some shitty coat of JB Weld. See how I'll just put a kind of a thin little layer around this guy. I mean, it's a pretty tight fit in there anyhow, so as long as it's got some in there, it should be good. Kind of do the same thing in here. Top and bottom. Alright, I'm just gonna smash that guy back in. It's probably gonna spew out all the crud, which is fine. And we'll, what did I do with the damn hammer? Use this big dog, I guess. Oh, look, lost the hammer right in front of my damn face. So yeah, it should be kind of sealed in there, you know, after I hit it like that. Or it should be kind of pressed in there, kind of like factory, and then I'll have this nice little coat of JB Weld to seal it up, so I shouldn't have no damn issues with that son of a bitch anymore. And it's the quick stuff too, so it'll seal up pretty nice. And then I think I'm gonna go ahead and take this damn oil filter off, let it drain right onto the damn ugly ass subframe anyhow. That's all this thing's been doing, is just pissing everywhere. Yeah, look at that, look how happy that is. Like, hell yeah. Get me out of this son of a bitch. This oil actually looked pretty good too, but it seemed like it had a lot of you know, little... I have another one of these guys. You guys like my invention right here? I had some bits in this oil pan, but you know, this is the oil I take back to O'Reilly's, so you can see all the stuff in there from that T56 and tranny fluid and stuff. And I hooked up this little strut tower brace so I could use a paint filter, so that I'm not dicking them over there with bits of, you know, fucking oil and shit in their damn oil trough. But yeah, I'll let this drain in my other pan later. I believe this other guy's a 14 on the other side. You got this brand new, the new right here. Just a little bit of the old oil on this guy. Yeah, it's a new Wix filter they got. It's like an XP, extreme performance or extra, I don't even know what, but supposedly it's dope, and it's supposed to be good with synthetics. So that's good. Hopefully you guys could see. Yeah, I wasn't gonna change oil. I was like, oh, this shit look good, you know, because I'm kind of a thrifty kind of guy, or frugal, as some would say. But So yeah, I just decided to go ahead and change it as like a, you know, 30 bucks of oil. You know, that's nice, you know, good insurance knowing that you got good oil in it, especially if I plan on beating on this thing and taking it to remote places and doing things down in Mexico, you know. So yeah, watch all that crap drain out, make sure it's not full of metal. Doesn't look too bad, but yeah, I'm gonna be running this Mobile One 1040 in it. I have some more as well. Put that crap in. I'm gonna let this drain. So yeah, I got the oil and everything in there. Got the filter on. This JB Weld's been sitting up for probably a good 30, 45, well, about 30 minutes or so. Make sure this thing doesn't pop off. But yeah, so I got fresh oil in it and started it up, checked all the levels and everything. Brake cleaned some stuff, zip tied some stuff, and I think it's time for another rip. Alright, so we just got gas in it, and I don't know what the hell's up with the temp gauge, but that thing is like pegged right now. I don't think it's actually overheating like that, but maybe if it is, it's probably already dead. But yeah, got a full tank of gas because I don't know how old the shit was in there. It runs real lean. It kind of has a little hesitation in it when you actually first get into it. And our breath, we don't have the heat. I never put the heater core. Well, I have the heater core in there, but not the blower motor in. So it's not blowing any hot air in here. So we're just freezing our asses off, and you know, our breath is fogging up the windshield and making it all icy and shit on the inside and the outside. So, but yeah, seems to run pretty good though, or decent enough. So, alright, so see how it's running all lean right now, and then it kind of. That felt like a good pull. As long as there's a stretch of road before the end of the road, as long as it
You just fly off the side of the
just right into that thing onto the highway.
It's fucking...
So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this week's video. I was kind of realizing I could have probably made like 3 or 4 different videos in this whole, you know, all the stuff that I had in here. You know, I could have done a quick little like how to install gauges and widebands, and you know, like why you need a wideband and all that stuff. I could have done like a how to install a limited slip and like the difference between a welded and a limited slip, and you know, like removal and installation and stuff like that. So could have done that. I went ahead and I got put the glove box and everything back in there. The wiring's just kind of still chilling down there. I was gonna reroute it and actually get it to sit up behind the kick panel, and then probably end up putting like the ECU behind the carpet right there, because it's about the only place I could do it. But got the heater, you know, so it actually blows on all the settings and works, you know, properly. So that's getting buttoned up. As you guys seen, I ripped off that thing. You know, I was being silly and smacked it onto the hammer of the drift button. So it, where'd it go? Yeah, that's right there. Well, not that piece. This guy right here. Yeah, I broke that. So you gotta figure out something for the e-brake. But yeah, after everything was all said and done, it drove really good. I put the blow-off valve thing back on, went for some rips, and it seemed just fine. Like I said, I was gonna probably switch these valve covers to that other setup, or do just the stock ones, or you know, switch it to stock valve covers, or put that other like catch can breather back on it, and just kind of clean up the engine bay a little bit more. But just wanted to make sure everything ran and drove real good. The limited slip, it You know, it seems like it's locking just fine, how it should. When I drove it on the ice that night, I mean, it would just go like everywhere. And with these, the suspension right here, I don't know if you guys could see how bumpy that is, but some of the head cam video, when you can see me like accelerate, you could actually see it like, you know, lifting up the front end and diving. So, but yeah, so that's about it for this week. I need to order some coilovers for this, put the bumper on it, and kind of tidy up some other stuff, and it should be ready to kind of play around with. The 2J, I'm pretty much just waiting on the motor mount isolators, or the rubber, you know, like rubber mounts that go on it, and I need to cut and modify it so it'll actually fit around the oil line down there at the bottom, the oil drain line. So that'll probably be next week's project on it, and hopefully have the motor mount isolators and everything in, and I'll be able to actually stuff that thing in there and see how it sits, and so I could go ahead and figure out everything with the drive shaft. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this week's video. You know, if you guys have any recommendations on things I could do in the videos, or things that you'd like to see more of in the videos, like more how-tos, I was thinking about maybe uploading like a second video a week with like a how-to, instead of just my week of random, you know, bull crap with like 10 how-tos, but not really how-tos, just kind of like watching it get done. But yeah, let me know what you think, and look forward to next Monday's video.